wir haben in den letzten Tagen eine neue Dynamik erlebt.
In the past few days, we have experienced a new momentum. All of us, the Ukrainians, the Europeans, the Americans, want the war in Ukraine to truly finally end. We agreed that an unbalanced peace plan will not bring long-term peace. For the further negotiation process, it is now important, as the American Secretary of State Marco Rubio also said a few days ago, that we do everything that concerns us as Europeans and within NATO, to do it together. And everything that concerns NATO and everything that concerns Europeans naturally also requires our approval. This means, among other things, that the unity of NATO must be preserved, and its deterrence capability must not be restricted at any point. This also means that every decision regarding the use of the Russian state assets frozen within the European Union resides solely with the European Union and the member states of the European Union. We want to make progress here as a sign of strength and as a lever to truly bring Moscow to the negotiating table. The Belgian Prime Minister has once again elaborated on his position. We will now move into the concrete discussions, enter into the legal texts, and I hope that in this context, all legitimate interests of Belgium can be addressed and taken into account. In the end, it is our common goal that all recognize that this issue concerns the security of Europe, the security of us all. Yes, Mr. Fischer, we have been aware of Viktor Orban's position for years. This is also not his first trip to Moscow that he is undertaking. In July of last year, he already made a trip to Moscow, immediately after assuming the European Council presidency. That visit back then was not only unsuccessful. A few days after this visit, there were some of the most intense attacks by the Russian army, including against civilian infrastructure and civilian targets in Ukraine. I hope that this Russian response does not occur this time. But he is traveling without the European mandate, and he is traveling without consulting us. But that is nothing new now. He has his own ideas for ending this war. They have not been realized so far. If someone has a better idea than we do, then it is highly welcome. I just doubt that this time will be more successful than the last, unfortunately. I would have wished for something else, but every head of state and government in the European Union has their own responsibility in this regard.
I haven't played for a European team for some time, and this visit also fits within that context. We do not expect any benefit from this visit, but I hope, as Chancellor Merkel said, that there won't be any significant harm, especially not in the form of fatalities. Victims that would follow such a visit. At some point, we already had to face this at the European Council in the past and decide that all activities take place without Mr. Orban's knowledge. Not because we didn't want him included, but because we found that their presence really brings no value, but great risks. I regret that we are in a situation where a European leader acts so openly in his own personal interest, which I am convinced is not also in the interest of his country, but that is their right. However, this is not the message that we would want to see elsewhere in Europe.